While we're talking,
Uh-huh.
a question I think everybody been wanting to know is, are you still at Destination Smokehouse?
No, I'm not. I'm not at Destination Smokehouse. I'm with Tendernism now. I have to go on my own, so that way I can do what I have to do. So I don't want nobody to be, it is what it is. You got to move on. When things happen, you don't get mad. Hey, you just take another step. Get glad. Praise the Lord, you're still living. But hey, I'm finna tenderize the world now. Hey, they should have never. But it is what it is, y'all. Hey, family out there, y'all keep supporting me. And I guarantee you, I ain't gonna do you wrong. Booyah.
We almost got away with our scam of everyone thinking it was your restaurant if only Keith Lee didn't show up. But Nick, don't I own a piece of this restaurant? Sorry, Walt, Tendernism is all mine. Destination #1 in the nation. Otis, why are you stealing my dance? No one wants to see.
From a public perception standpoint, this clarification was long overdue, and you could tell by the temperature shift in the comment section that people weren't necessarily looking for drama. They were looking for transparency. For weeks, if not months, supporters had been asking him to simply confirm whether he was still affiliated with Destination Smokehouse, because the silence created an informational vacuum. And in digital ecosystems like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, informational vacuums get filled with speculation almost immediately. When a key figure who helped build the cultural cachet of a brand suddenly stops appearing in content, stops promoting the establishment, or pivots toward independent ventures without acknowledgement of that separation, the audience begins conducting its own informal due diligence, checking business registrations, trademark filings, social media affiliations, and ownership documentation. That's exactly what happened here. Supporters, many of whom were originally introduced to Destination Smokehouse through him, started putting in the footwork and discovered that the term tendernism, a phrase organically popularized by the older gentleman and closely associated with his on-camera persona, had reportedly been trademarked by Destination Smokehouse. From a brand equity perspective, that raised immediate red flags because it signaled a potential attempt to formalize ownership over intellectual property that the public overwhelmingly attributes to an individual, rather than the institution itself. Even if the intent was administrative or preventative from a legal standpoint, the optics were problematic. In influencer-driven hospitality ventures, much like personality-driven YouTube channels such as InYoBusiness TV, the personality is often the primary value driver, not the physical location or LLC behind it. So when he finally addressed the situation and confirmed that ties had effectively been severed and that he's now focused on building his own independent establishment, it didn't just settle rumors. It recontextualized the entire relationship dynamic in the eyes of the fan base. People who had been hesitant to continue supporting him out of fear that their engagement might inadvertently benefit Destination Smokehouse now feel a renewed sense of clarity. In their minds, continuing to champion him no longer translates to bolstering an entity they suspect may have engaged in behind-the-scenes funny business. What's also important here is the role the audience has played as a kind of decentralized advocacy group. Fans weren't just gossiping. Many genuinely felt like they were looking out for the older gentleman's legacy and contributions. He's been visibly appreciative of that support, which reinforces a feedback loop between creator and community. The audience protects what they perceive as authentic, and the creator acknowledges that protection through gratitude and transparency. That dynamic is something you're already familiar with in your own ecosystem. When viewers of InYoBusiness feel like they're defending the integrity of a story or standing up for someone being misrepresented, it increases emotional investment and long-term loyalty to both the subject and the platform covering it. On the flip side, this entire situation has also fueled a growing sentiment that Destination Smokehouse may have been too good to be true. Not necessarily in terms of food quality or day-to-day operations, but in how the business relationship may have been structured behind closed doors. When audiences perceive that a grassroots personality helped elevate a brand to the next level, bringing visibility, cultural relevance, and customer traffic, only for that same personality's catchphrase or likeness to be legally consolidated under the company's control. It starts to look less like partnership and more like asymmetrical leverage. In the court of public opinion, that reads as taking advantage of someone who may not have had the same legal literacy or contractual protections in place at the outset. Now, to be clear, he didn't provide a granular breakdown of what occurred internally. No timelines, no contractual disputes, no licensing negotiations, but even a high-level acknowledgement that the parties have gone their separate ways and that he's pursuing ownership over his own vision was enough to shift audience sentiment. The support he's receiving now isn't just about his future business. It's about restoring what fans feel is rightful authorship over the cultural elements, like tendernism, that they associate with him personally. Ultimately, the fan base sees itself as helping ensure that the individual who helped bring Destination Smokehouse into broader relevance retains control over the identity and language he introduced to the public. Whether that perception aligns perfectly with the legal realities is a separate question, but in terms of brand narrative and community goodwill, the damage or redistribution of loyalty may already be underway.